Welcome back to the Stockwell Roche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results, and Josh Roche is out with a sick kid today. And we are talking new construction and giving you tips, takeaways, ideas, and things that hopefully you find useful in your real estate new construction purchase or your shopping or your ideas or whatever it may be. So Realtor.com says that 2016 housing forecast predicts a healthy market with new construction driving the highest level of home sales since 2006. So
wow.
New construction, and we're seeing it all over. You're driving around. You're seeing it during the Parade of Homes here. The last day of the parade is today. So after we get done, I would say go grab lunch and get out there and check out some homes. So we have Nick Spalding with Kraft Homes here. We have Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo here. And when we were on break, we were talking about connections and being connected. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're on, like, if I said I'm well connected, it doesn't mean I'm on Facebook all the time, right? Connecting with people.
Right.
It means that I have a lot of contacts, connections, and things like that.
Resources
For you. And Stephanie has a ton. I have a ton. And I'm sure Nick has a ton in our business. So if you have any questions, housing related, mortgage related, excavating related, staging, remodeling, lighting, anything, painting,
anything
landscaping.
housing related from A to Z. And it's true. It's nice to have a referral. I mean, seriously, if something goes wrong, it's always like, hey, do you know a guy? Who do you know? That can help me with this. So absolutely glad to be a good resource for all.
So you have tons of them. So you can call
housing
us.
related.
And you can go on Facebook even if you want. Find us on Stockwell Roche Show. Type questions in there. Email us directly. Call us 651-400-0773, and we'll be happy to help. So back to new construction and back to our guest, Nick Spalding with Kraft Homes, the builder, who's here. I want to hear some things that we talked about, some tips and some things, and we went over those, and that's research, do some investigation, make sure you get your approval right so you're good on your pricing.
Financing.
Watch out for the teaser rate, or not teaser rate necessarily, the teaser price, where it says, you walk into the model and it's stunningly beautiful, and you go and it says starting at $349, but
Payment of $1,000 a month.
But it actually comes out at $449 or $450. It's $100,000 difference. Just watch out for that stuff. Just know what you're spending and make sure that you're conscious of that. Dave Ramsey preaches that a lot. But I want to hear from Nick some stories. Like, what are some cool things that you've seen in your construction days, or some of the coolest places without giving addresses and what that you've built? Some trends that you're seeing when people want to come in and do a custom home. Is there anything changing or stuff that we need to know or people should know? I mean,
yeah, I think, since the market's turned around, I think when I first got in the business, pretty much everything was like oak floors, oak cabinets, oak trim, that was like the late 90s and early thousands. And, since the markets came back, I think, through '08, until now, people have had to be more competitive and improve design and, do different colors and different products and stuff like that. We're getting a lot of that like faux tile now, the faux wood tile. That's been very popular. A couple years ago was like the big tiles, the 12 by 24s. I'm kind of seeing those go out a little bit. But the faux wood tile, I would say, is a big hit right now.
Is there something you would say, Nick? So if I'm thinking about building a construction home and I want everything, I want that cool tile, I want the latest this, is there anything you would say, but don't skimp on this? If I've got my budget, I got my Wells Fargo pre-approval, my lender said I can spend this much, and you can say, oh, great, I can totally work with that. And then, I might, oh, shoot, I'm kind of getting close. Is there anything that you would say, don't cut corners on these three items? For sure, invest in quality on these three things.
Yeah, I would say, windows probably would be one big one. Now, you don't need to go out and spend and buy the top-of-the-line window. Just do your research. I work with Milgard Windows, which I think is a very good quality window. And for the price, I mean, it's a great window for the price. You don't need to go out and buy an Anderson or a Pella or a Marvin or whatever. I've done them. They're great windows, but, it might not fit into some people's budgets. I would say cabinets is probably the biggest one. You see a lot of cabinets
To make
for
sure that it's quality.
Make sure it's quality, solid construction. I'm a big fan of custom made cabinets. We can custom make them to a wall. We can do a lot more things with them. I think they're built a little more sturdy. A lot of builders are running with box cabinets. They're very thin construction. Now that's a really expensive thing to replace. And I think that's one of the most important things is the custom cabinets for sure. And probably maybe countertops, I would say. Well, I don't know.
Flooring.
Well, there's a lot of things that are, in my opinion, there's a ton of things that are important when you're building. Lot is very important, location. And then style of the home and look and aesthetics and the outside and then layout inside. But I agree completely with that as far as cabinets, because you see a lot of cheap ones. I see ones that are actually warped and like bent, and they close and they kind of bang and they kind of shudder. They're just really thin and cheap, like paper. And then the what was your first one you said?
Windows.
Oh, windows. Yes, huge one, because that's where you're everything is so our value and all that in Minnesota. We're very good on our control of energy and all that stuff, but windows are always the place where the most energy is going to be released anyway, where you're losing the most heat. And if you have the best insulation, the best siding, the best everything, but then you put the crappiest windows in, it's worthless, because it's like you might as well punched holes in your house and left, because they're bad. So I think those
you
are
spent all your money on the really cool lighting or something else, or floor. I guess I don't know. I haven't built a home in 10 years, but
the windows are really, really, really important. And then there's just tons and tons of stuff that's very important in a home, and you gotta especially if it's your first new home, that's where you really sit down, right, Nick? You can sit down and you spend time going over those things.
It's what's important to you as well. One really good tip too. My wife and I we tore down and built a home in St. Louis Park, and we'll probably be there for a couple years. And I remember picking the carpet selections, and we were looking at potentially of an upgrade of $3,000 to $4,000. The color wasn't any different; it was just the thickness of the carpet. And we have a 16-month-old son, so it's kind of like, well, do I really want to spend that money for 2 years? Am I going to get it out of there? No, probably not. So what we actually decided to do, carpet pad. Put a really good carpet pad in there, because any carpet is going to feel great on top of a good pad.
And it's probably a lot cheaper, right?
Well, it is a little expense, to put that carpet pad in there, but it was definitely cheaper than the carpet upgrade.
Right.
But then if you have pets or kids or whatever, you can easily replace that and not have to feel bad.
I'm in Nick's shoes. I couldn't imagine putting in, no offense to my kids, Asher, Victoria, and Genevieve. I love you guys. But I could never spend or imagine putting in top of line carpet, because in our Katie, my wife's probably, if she listens to this show, she'll hear this. But I go downstairs the other day, and and there's my mom, who lives in Seattle, mailed a present to the kids, and it was an art project. That's spin art, where you have the thing and you push the button and the paint thing spins, and then you drip the paint on it.
You have newly decorated walls and carpet?
Our carpet, when you come down the steps, you go down the steps, and and then you have a landing, and you go down another one, there's the other part of the steps. And right in the middle there is a bunch of nice yellow everything all over. And I'm like, thank goodness I didn't, because I do want to renovate the basement. We got paneling, 1960s paneling, and we got old carpet and all this stuff, and popcorn ceilings, and I want to do all that, but right now they sometimes write on the wall. I'm not, if I'm out doing something or Katie's doing something, they're just going to be creative and they're going to do their thing. So I agree with that. If I had
That's
nice
great
padding,
advice.
but have because pets, kids are the worst thing for.
Well, and I didn't know that either, so that you could actually replace the pad and the carpet. So, because, when I bought my first home, the construction home, I went the most expensive carpet. Now, I don't have kids or pets, but...
Well, then you're fine.
Well, but I think like what he said, though, I think you could get a lesser expensive carpet and get a carpet pad, because if you plan to live there for a while, right, you'd probably want to... the expense of the carpet pad versus the more expensive carpet is what you're saying.
Well, and you don't have to replace the
And you
pad.
don't replace the pad. Exactly.
Yeah, you leave the pad in. The pad that I actually put in is Tempur-Pedic pad. It's actually it's the same stuff that they use in the beds.
Wow.
So it's super comfortable, and it has a memory foam to it. So
your kids are laying all over. They never want to get off the floor.
well,
So
I don't want to get off the floor. That's more like it. So yeah.
So those.
Well, I was gonna say too. Do you offer like marriage counseling? Because I can imagine there must be a lot of disagreements when they're picking out all this
that's
stuff.
what we're going to talk about when we get back. So we got one more
Who
segment.
makes the
we're gonna
final
be talking,
decision?
Great. We're going to be talking about that, the dynamics of picking a house and building together. That's why you need a guy like Nick, who's very patient, involved. So Nick with Spalding with Kraft Homes, Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo. I'm Jason Stockwell. We'll be back soon.
Mother's tired, she needs a rest.